the Granger, the farmer. We depend on these men and women every day of our lives. The strategy and approach in this profession is always changing, but the end game remains the same: results. But what does it take to run the show? A farmer depends on family, instinct, Mother Nature, and oftentimes a whole lot of luck. Time to head down to Georgia and explore this diverse industry, meet the players who make it happen, get to know the animals, chow down home style, and explore the world of modern Grangers. Georgia's #1 industry. It's always been about the farm down here. Just take a drive from Cloudland Canyon to the pristine marshes of McIntosh County and you'll capture the diversity. Mountain vineyards, pine forests, cattle, cotton, fruits and veggies. It's all here and it's all fresh.
As agriculture goes, so goes Georgia. Those fighting farm families every day that are out there putting food and fiber on our table and supporting the rural communities is inextricably linked to the success of the rest of the state.
The Georgia National Fair down in Perry is where our story begins. Welcome to the Georgia Grown Pavilion.
A lot of good educational activities here. A lot of good business is taking place here in our store back here, and of course the Georgia Grown Baby Barn. So it's all kind of one place for every year have a family reunion. You can see the family's pretty happy.
You'll find it all here: pigs, goats, chickens, free samples of course, and just about every day a crowd gathers around the main stage for the miracle of birth. This is something you don't see every day, unless you're here.
Let's connect with life. I mean, up close and personal. You get to talk about the science of it. We've got University of Georgia and plus our veterinarians that are here explaining what's going on. If you want to get somebody attached to agriculture, just let them hold a week-old baby pig.
The calves and piglets alike have special volunteer handlers, breaking in the next generation of farmers.
When you have the brand, you do have a kind of a platform to go different directions with that. We're using the brand not just to promote products, but actually to promote the industry, and it has a great pull to these young people, and we're so excited to see that.
Gracie Grimes was a volunteer here at the Georgia Grown Pavilion in years past and has now become one of Georgia Grown's junior ambassadors.
Just hearing all the people with how inquisitive they were fascinated by it. Someone their age talking to them is probably going to speak more than someone 30 or even 20. She's my age, and she's got this love for agriculture.
We've got great people, great institutions, great ports. We're changing, but it's still an agriculture state.
We now head further south to Gracie's hometown, where the Georgia Grown movement has deep roots. And around here, everything is Metter-made. Located right off Interstate 16 between Macon and Savannah, Metter, Georgia is a sweet spot to stop and stay for any traveler. Legendary barbecue joints like Papa Buck's, home of the Pigzilla Chowdown Challenge, and the juiciest brisket you'll find anywhere on earth, along with a charming downtown square and strong community roots. This town is special. Metter is also the state's first official Georgia Grown city and home to the state's first Georgia Grown store, where you'll find everything from salts and soaps to Georgia Grown jerky and jams. It's definitely worth the stop. When we return, we visit a few farms in this Metter, Georgia region and explore the world of these modern Grangers. When you think South Georgia, you think sweet. And it's not just the onions and peaches that grow sweet down here. Jay McCraney has been working down on the Grange for quite a few years. He's been through the ups and downs of farming, but the fruits of his labor are so incredibly sweet.
Better made. Born and raised here, this is a first-generation blueberry farm, but my family's been farming in Candler and Tattnall County for 3 generations. We've been very diversified from cotton and peanuts to cattle and blueberries now. The rabbit eye blueberry's been our mainstay. It's sweet, it's crisp, it's just something you want to eat. Here in Middle Georgia, we start about the middle of May, May 15th or so, and we go through the week after July the 4th. I believe too much of our food's imported, and I think anytime we can show our consumers that we have a safe and better product, more flavorful product, I believe that's good for all of us in our industry. A lot of American consumers don't know the difference in what's imported and what's not, and if we can label that and get our name out there and show them a better product, I think it's good for everybody. There's basically 2 markets for blueberries, a fresh market, and a large portion of those have to be hand-picked, and a lot of ours are older varieties that go in a processed market, which goes into blended and frozen foods and such, and that's what we use the machine for, is to pick for the processed market. And we can take 4 guys on this machine and pick what it would take 50 guys to pick by hand in a day. They will be not labeled McCraney Farms. They'll be labeled anything you see with blueberries, from Pop-Tarts to frozen to whatever it may be, is where most of ours go. Most people don't realize what it costs to get a blueberry from the ground, first year planting, to when you see it in the supermarket. It's a huge endeavor by a lot of people, from picking to transportation to retail. I think people have kind of lost touch with that, and that's why the local movement is really moving fast. For a time, people wanted it cheap and fast. And with cheap and fast, you're not necessarily getting quality all the time. And I think being more attached to some quality product, being attached to where your food comes from, is just healthy. It's healthy physically and emotionally. And I think people have jumped on the bandwagon, and it's really growing fast. Most kids, even in Metter, Georgia, a small community here in South Georgia, are not raised on the farm. They're detached from it now. So anytime my kids' friends come out or anything, they're amazed by what we do. From just growing the product to how we harvest it and such as that. It's a blessing to live in a small community where you can share that.